classic mammal piss. Hello and welcome to Master Manual, a practical guide for DMs, GMs, and just wanna BMs, and other folks too. This is a podcast. It's a podcast where we mess up the intro, and then the batteries die, and then we mess it up again.
What is this a podcast
And then we
for?
talk about and answer questions regarding role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, mostly from a DM's perspective. I'm Cohen. Oh my God!
No, you're Spencer Crittenden,
and I'm Cohen Edifield,
and I'm Cohen Edenfield,
and
this is Master Manual.
We're playing Smash Brothers.
We are playing a lot of Smash Brothers, not with each other yet.
I'm playing it right now, but not with Cohen yet.
I am playing it in the beautiful crystal palace of my mind.
Oh,
where
yeah.
everything is made of mahogany and obsidian.
I'm getting the Tetris effect for PlayStation for Smash Brothers in my mind right now.
I am getting I have been getting that a little bit. I've been playing it a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm using Mega Man Side Smash with the perk from the World of Light, so you can hold your smash attack infinitely.
That is such a the World of Light. I can tell it's like I almost need to stop playing it because it's making me worse at real Smash. Because
I call it the World of Fight. Yeah, you feel really good sometimes. You're like, haha, I'm doing 50 damage per punch.
It's like, that's probably not how that's supposed to go.
Yeah, I don't think this is applicable experience.
Yeah, when you have like 13,000 fighting whatever, and then also advantage and also a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
You're like, I am so good at this game. That's what you call, that's your progression.
It #feels good man.
Mm. Pour one out for
Matt Fury.
Yep.
I did the thing where I tapped my chest twice and brushed off of it with a peace sign.
He did. It was magnificent, and it looked like he had practiced it near, at the very least, a semi-reflective surface.
But most importantly, it was respectful.
It was. Do you want to do the thing? So we've been playing some Smash.
Yeah, that happened. D&D.
I played D&D.
No D&D for me. Talk about D&D.
Okay, so we hadn't played in like 2 months. It was the game I play in.
Connell Velveteen's Mystical Adventures.
That is exactly right. Yes, that is my character's name. Good pull.
I was just making one up.
Connell Velveteen is his name. His house sigil is a rabbit. Connell is Greek for rabbit. Mm-hmm. And it's Velveteen Rabbit is the... yeah, pretty good. So we hadn't played in a couple...
Helga Cruciform.
Right. We hadn't played in a couple of months. DM Rich Molina, who is just amazing. He's really good. We're going to link to his Twitter in this because he's just great.
I wonder how that's going to happen.
You're going to do it.
Oh, wow.
I don't ever do that. I don't post the thing.
So we're going to link to Rich... What is it, Rich Molina?
Rich Molina,
Molina?
Molina, that's it.
How do you spell that?
Melena.
And if that's wrong, we'll cut it out.
Yeah. He's a really good DM. So he was sort of saddled with the difficult. We all of us take notes, and so there was a thing at the beginning. I kind of wanted to talk about this. So we hadn't played in 2 months,
right?
So and we had been on our way to the next quest hook beat. We were on a ship, and there was a big naval battle. Mm-hmm. But it's a challenge, right? To get like 5 people who have been thinking about the game, in different levels. Mm-hmm. Somebody might have not been thinking about it. Somebody else might have been like going over everything in their head.
Right. That's typical.
So we had sort of a group discussion / consensus of the whole deal, and came to figure things out. It was neat. And then we played.
What was that? How was that discussion? Like, what did you talk about?
We all went around and sort of naturally like looked back over our notes and was like, oh well, okay. And it's funny because we all had different details because it had all been written from the perspective of what was relevant to our characters.
Like 3 blind mice.
Yeah. And my character it's always about what's specifically what's relevant to him.
Right.
Because he's neutral evil.
He's in it for himself, as we've heard on the pod.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's fun to play a neutral evil character. It is sort of the opposite of how I live my regular life, for good or bad. But
Oh, I thought you meant like you lived it for good or for bad, and I was like, what? What?
Well, no, I mean, it's like sometimes self-interest is something that I wish I had more of. I have difficulty acting in my own self-interest sometimes.
And I have difficulty making bowel movements sometimes.
Not me. I'm regular as a hurricane.
Here I am, regular as a hurricane.
That's not a... I'm sorry. I'm on cold medication this week because I'm sick. But,
and I'm on caffeine.
Me too.
Because I usually go to bed early, but I can't not play video games.
We are all chained to Sakurai's desk. And
we are all made of stars. What's the first segment we do? We do UCB and D now, right?
Yeah, you got something ready?
Do I got something ready, or am I simply filling time until I do? No, I got something ready.
All right, well, lay it on me, Nakatomi.
All right,
Plaza.
So
setting up the movie Die Hard.
I gotta watch that movie. People say it's good. That's like an understatement.
Yeah, they certainly do like to have discourse about whether or not it is a Christmas movie, and they like to theatrically get upset about people talking about it. I'm like 9 irony levels removed from the Die Hard Christmas movie discussion.
Yeah, I like to, I
can't even like feel anything related to it anymore.
I like to be surprised by people who haven't thought of the idea that Die Hard might be a Christmas movie. I love that. It's a passion of mine. Anyway, improvencyclopedia.org has been our reference here. We're getting through the 5 basic improv rules, and we're at the 5th today, so I'm going to need to scrounge up some new thing or abandon the bit. I think there's more improv rules, but there might not be. Anyway.
Maybe it just always seems like there's a lot more when people are telling you the rules of improv unprompted at a party.
Oh, yeah. I'm always at parties.
Yeah. Take that, friendly people who make conversation at social gatherings based on their interest.
Usually when I'm at parties, I'm telling people the rules. I'm like, if you take a dash action, you get to use double your movement speed. Anyway.
Can you take a dash action and a bonus action?
Yeah, generally.
Oh, well. Shit.
But you need to get a bonus action from something that grants one, right? Or
yeah.
I don't know. I get mixed up. Anyway, I'm bad at the game, actually, it turns out. Number 5, tell a story. Storytelling is probably the easiest rule to remember, but the hardest one to do. The real magic of improv is when we see the players take totally random suggestions, like a plumber and a cab driver selling shoes in a leper colony, and somehow make it work. If all these unrelated elements are going to come together, then it's going to happen in the course of an interesting tale. So that's just what the players are going to try and do. Tell us all a story. So, Cohen, how does that apply to D&D?
I can't make it work. I'm afraid this one is totally irrelevant to our purposes.
No.
Wait, did I do that same bit last week?
Nope.
Okay. Then it's really funny, and I'm glad I did it.
This time, it's good.
Tell a story. Your players do wild shit. Link it together into some kind of overarching narrative. That's sort of the soul of what we do here, isn't it?
Yep. Speaking of leper colony, I read something recently that suggested the leper colonies and the lepers that Jesus and various biblical figures visited may have just been elephantitis sufferers.
Huh.
Vastly different than traditional leprosy.
Well, take that, Jesus.
Take that, lepers.
It seems like Jesus should have known that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That's why he was comfortable, not getting a contagious disease.
Oh, clever girl.
Tapping brain meme,
Yeah.
Anyway.
When you tap, the temple tap.
Oh, yeah. What a world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I've ceased to be able to communicate with other humans in a meaningful way without the use of curated moments from films and television programs that have been presented in a graphical image file format.
So think about this. It's a tablet made by Imgur or Giphy or whatever, and on the back is a low-grade touchscreen that just lets you pick a GIF, and on the front is a big GIF. And so you select it, and then so you could visually communicate with people through GIFs in the real world.
I like it.
We're making things.
Pretend that I'm holding up a GIF, a thing that says, it's Philip J. Fry from the television program Futurama, and he's thrusting a handful of future dollars forward, and almost threateningly he shouts, "Shut up and take my money." Mm-hmm. So if I had the GIF.
My GIF replying to that GIF would be Jack Nicholson nodding really, enthusiastically.
Yeah, he is definitely communicating his assent.
He's loving it. He can't get enough. But anyway, tell a story. I want to go in this direction that you can take all the elements that you aren't expecting to tell a story out and actually make that cohesive and weave it together to create a richer world that the players can explore. So it kind of gave the idea, use the suggestions that the audience throws out, cab driver selling shoes in the leper colony or whatever as like an example of something bad. So if you tell a compelling story with that, people are like, man, they really took this and made it sing. Similarly, if you're stumbling and people are like, what do I find? And you're like, you find a man that only says the word hamburger. And then you find something that makes sense out of that. Then you're like doing something incredible just by making these disparate elements actually eventually make sense in the lore of the world and the course of the game.
This is the nice thing about the fact that it will often be weeks or even months between the time that you play in D&D.
Right.
If you take notes.
Yeah, take good notes.
Link things together.
And that's what I always wanted to do on Harmontown after a time, because you could just listen to it, so it was easy enough to get perfect notes.
And if those things don't link together, it's fine. They'll forget.
Right.
And if you didn't write it down and they didn't write it down, and it's been time passes and it's fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be like it never happened.
Tell a story. But yeah, I just think that's maybe some wisdom, is that you can really draw inspiration from the things that you didn't want to tell your ultimate DM story or whatever with. You can kind of weave everything and make a new synthesis that's more exciting than just you going on your own path.
Yeah.
Hope that helps. UCB&D. Tune in next week for Who Knows.
For who's shit.
Whose role is it anyway?
Okay.
Whose turn is it anyway?
That whose turn is it anyway is actually not bad.
Wait, don't hit me.
Don't spell me.
Wait, don't save.
I think don't sell me was don't sell me was spell me was the way to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not throwing it down.
No,
I'm just also participating.
Seems like you're making second drafts. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, we need to make. What about wait, don't shadow fell me.
Okay. You know what? I'm glad you came back around. I'm glad. All right, let's do the thing.
Yeah, I think that was something.
Let's do the other thing we do.
Oh man, I hate myself. Let's do it. The other thing we do is Helga Cruciform.
Yes.
That's a bit where we're just going to read off some names that people submitted us for Helga Cruciform, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have music.
Yeah, we do. I'm pretty sure I'll be hearing it tinkling in right now.
Tom the Fanboy says, Wump the Gump.
Feldstan Ferraro.
Olaf, the Red-Nosed Dwarf.
I'm just reading the suggestions because otherwise we're reading two names for everything. Carlos Strafe.
Tingles, the Anxious Elf.
Fang Jansen.
Bomb Tannen, the Flamboyant Ent.
Thorn Bronze Bear, the Dwarven Wilderness God.
Moopins.
Brand Armistice.
Orion Dustborn.
Grub the Moist. Wow, I hate that.
You hate it?
Yeah.
Oh, people hate moist, huh?
Yeah. People don't like that word.
Groot Bader Ginsburg.
Hitch the Tethered.
Hitch the Tethered?
Mm-hmm.
That's clever, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Tortellini.
Wow, that's clever, I guess, right?
Sure.
Gareth.
Triton Tipsley.
Melga Duciform. Hey.
Uh-oh.
I get it.
Doo-doo diaper. Oh, god damn it.
You've been threaded into somebody's fetish.
All right, that's it for Helga Crucible.
That's it for Helga. I also thought that was it for Helga Crucible.
Maybe we should stop doing the same. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But am I? Anyway, what's next? I guess questions, huh?
Oh, yeah. Do we have some?
Oh, yeah. In fact, we have upwards of 3.
Shit.
The first question comes from Anthony Watkins.
Thanks, Anthony.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
Is that it? The first thing in the question? Did he know?
Yeah, that's the subject line is "You're welcome."
Please open all questions henceforth with "You're welcome,"
and all feedbacks with "I'm sorry." No, don't do that. I DM a 5e group consisting of roommates and classmates from grad school. We're all pretty close, and everyone is easygoing with one another. I have some players who are a bit loud and silly, and some who are really focused on the game.
Sounds pretty typical so far.
But one of the players recently said he doesn't want to continue playing because he feels too on rails and not having fun. Now, I made a point of telling them all at the beginning of the campaign that they could do whatever they want within the realm of the rules. They're playing Forgotten Realms, and to the best of my knowledge, I've never once said no to an idea. At no point did the player ever try to go off the rails, so to speak, so I'm confused as to why he thinks I'm limiting him. Honestly, I suppose my question is, should I really care? Should I modify my DM style? Or should I just move on to the other happier players? Well, I just want to get this out of the way. I want to say, just disclaimer, this is not direct advice. This is just a brain kind of connection. So there's this thing called the 80-20 principle where it's used for a lot of things, but the way I hear it most
80-20 principle?
Yeah, where I hear it most used is that 20% of people in your life generate 80% of the problems in your life. And a lot of times you can cut just the worst people from your life without losing a lot. And so I'm not saying this person's negative, but at the same time, sometimes people just bring their own problems, and the best way to solve the problem is to remove the person from the situation. I don't know. I don't think that's the case, honestly, necessarily, but I just want to say that because my brain connected to it. I'm
going to do a little bit of sleuthing. And when did we get this question? What day was this sent?
Oh, damn. December 4th.
December 4th. Does it say they're currently in grad school?
From grad school. It doesn't say that they're currently in grad school.
Because I was going to say, if they're currently in grad school,
Anthony. Sorry.
What?
I said Anthony. It's Anthony.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Anthony. If anybody who's currently in grad school doesn't need a lot of excuse to walk away from a major time commitment like D&D.
Sure.
I'd say it's a little aggressive that this is that the first suggestion they had was that they came to you with like, listen, I'm going to quit because this is too on rails. If they've given you no indication prior, it's possible that they've given you hints that you've missed.
Mm-hmm.
But some people build things up in their head until to a point that they, their first way that they try to resolve something is by just saying, you know what, actually fuck this, and then walk away from it.
Yeah, that's a very easy response sometimes.
Yeah.
I just was thinking that, I don't know. This is another. So there's this concept that I was kind of thinking when I was reading this, which is like sometimes you can have a lot of prepared material that you're working off of, whether or not it's your material or pre-prepared material, like from a campaign module or something. Mm-hmm. And using that, it kind of gives people the sense that there's only a very limited number of interactable items. And even when you're open to that possibility, it gives them the wrong cues and makes them feel kind of shunted in, even though you're not doing that. And I'm wondering if maybe it's something like that, if we're not saying that this guy's just a spoil sport or whatever, which he may well be. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a distinction, I think, because the idea is theoretically the game can go anywhere at any time.
Right.
But in practice, especially as you move on and start incorporating suggestions and like building encounters and scenes and stuff based on where you think the story is going, there can be a presumption, there can be a fear from the players to stray too far from what they feel are the established beats. Because like if you've got like several layers of maps that you're going to be unfolding, you're like, and here's the ship battle followed by this, there's certainly a feeling like, well, we can't like take the ship and head,
Right. There's a lot of cues that you might not be intentionally sending, or you might not even be sending, but your players are somehow picking up. And then it's like there's the observer principle too. And then there's that player is dealing with the whims of the other players that are digging into your prepared say rails, if they're not rails necessarily. But then it might be the other players driving that also.
It makes me wonder how much this person has played before.
Sure.
And what they are comparing it to.
I'm sure that they have a different experience that they're comparing it to, that this isn't syncing with, that is causing the problem, which is a hard thing to deal with because it's just different groups play differently.
And, yeah, it might be that they played with a different group. It might be that they watched something and got an impression that
Yo, it's cool. Don't worry about it. That was a cleaning guy. Sorry about that, cleaning guy. Didn't mean to interrupt his workflow.
Are we going to cut this?
Probably, but maybe not. We may have just gotten interrupted.
So, ultimately, I think have a conversation with them. This is so often our advice.
An exit interview?
I don't know. If it's a thing where it's like, I'm quitting unless you... If it's presented like, I'm quitting unless you... I'd say like, well... you're welcome to make suggestions or try things. Like, I'm sorry if I've given you the impression that that those aren't going to be incorporated. If you want to keep going, let's give it a shot. But I would say don't make promises that you're going to change your play style.
Yeah, I'd say the exit interview concept or whatever is just talking to them, seeing what exactly, because obviously they're comfortable telling you that they didn't like what was happening, and so just maybe saying like, yeah, I know you told me this, but I was curious about digging in a little deeper, seeing if I could try and but that's depending on your willingness to like work. I would just be curious, because the same way if someone has a problem with me, I'm like, well, why does that person not like me or whatever. So it's like I would be curious to get to the bottom of it myself, but I don't know if you're up for it. But yeah, it seems just like an expectations thing, and maybe, but I mean, that's not to say that you are doing that or the rest of your group wants that.
It's just so strange to me that they were like, I'm gonna quit because it's too on rails.
Yeah,
it's just an odd place to start.
I feel like, another thing is people, audiences, consumers, game players, they can feel when something's not working, but they aren't good at pitching a fix. So this guy, or finding out what's wrong, you might go like, oh, like my stomach hurts, and it might be like not your stomach, it might be like your liver or something that hurts, but you go into the doctor and then they poke your liver and they go, oh, your liver's fucked up. Anyway, so that guy's he's maybe having a bad reaction and going, oh, you know what's wrong? I can't do the things I want to do. The DM must be railroading me in some way.
Yeah, because it's an easy thing to
Scapegoat.
say. Yeah.
Sure, it's a very easy thing to say. And so maybe he's like, I don't know, sometimes I felt just like not drowned out by the other players, but just like more just I was like kind of helping more than really steering any of the action. And then that's not like super frustrating or anything, but that kind of makes you lose investment in the game.
Yeah.
And so it might be a situation like that, but then that's a hard thing to fix on your own. And it might be hard to define that from the player also.
Yeah.
Well, we've certainly talked about this.
Yeah. I don't change your whole thing is all I'm going to say.
Right.
If the other people seem like they're having fun, talk with this person, see if you can get them to give you some specific, like one or two example, like, or like,
yeah,
tell them, let them know that they can try things.
Let them know that they can try things. Ask them if they had any things that they wanted to try and that they didn't feel like worked, or they had any directions that they were thinking about. Just not to say that you're going to do that, just to get a sense of where they were at mentally, because I think that perception gap is what the problem is right now.
Yeah.
And you might not fix it, but it's good knowledge to have for life. Anyway,
we helped.
Good luck with grad/post-grad school.
Yeah. Job market stuff.
Oh, yeah. And we're not hiring.
No, nor do we have any money.
Exactly. That's why we're not hiring.
Yeah.
You ready for some loot tables?
Yeah, I think it's my turn to go first this time.
All right, but we want to put out a disclaimer or a note we're soliciting input. Someone had a feedback that they wanted to submit new categories for the D6 roll.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea.
Right. So currently we have a human-esque or societal monster, such as like an orc or a bugbear.
These are the ones we've been using.
Right. This is what we're currently using. A monster-ass monster like a frog hemoth or a hook horror. Arms and armor, which is more like combat-oriented. And then magic and exotic odd items, which is more like rings and wands and staves. Cursed item, which is, magic item, just cursed. And then magical phenomena like polymorph, the school of magic, or abjuration, the school of magic, or knife rain, the magical phenomenon from Adventure Time.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, so those are the 6 we're using. We're thinking if you guys have some good additions, we'll mix them up, make a new 6, or maybe even add more faces to the die. I don't know.
That's impossible.
Well,
wait, we could use
I got a bandsaw. We'll cut it up.
All right.
But take it away.
I got a 5. What's that?
That's a cursed item.
Ah, shit. Okay. Well, I've drawn the 9 of Wands.
Damn.
It suggests resilience, pushing forward in the last stretch. You are close to achieving a victory after a time of battle and hard work. You have spent time pursuing what you believe to be right, though this was difficult and draining. You are reaching a point of exhaustion, but there is only a small way to go before your ultimate goal.
Damn.
Okay.
That's cool.
I have a thing. It's a cursed item.
Mm-hmm.
It's thick woolen socks that when you put them on, each turn after you put them on, your movement speed is cut in half.
Yes.
And it's called Xeno's Parasocks.
Is Xeno's paradox a concept?
Yeah,
derivatives?
It's
or
like
something?
if you it's when you fire. It's like Apollo fires an arrow that travels half its distance and half its distance and half its and half and half and half, and so it can never reach its target, but it actually does.
So what happens when your movement speed gets infinitely small?
It just keeps getting. You get down to a point where you can't move a full foot, so you're stuck. Then you take off the socks.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can take off the socks.
Now that flies in the face of, I think, how cursed items work typically, right?
They don't always have to be like unremovable.
Oh.
Sometimes they can just be bad.
Oh, they're usually bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're often bad. I would say that they don't, it's not immediately, it's frustrating because it wouldn't happen until you got into combat.
Right.
And
okay,
then it's
that's
like,
cool.
so they'd be like, oh, I got those socks and I put on these nice socks.
They seize up.
Yeah. And then like once combat happened, it'd be like, oh, your movement speed is halved.
I like that.
And then so if they try to figure out what's happening and figure out but they'd have to spend a whole action taking the socks off. So it's still kind of a irritation in combat.
Would they immediately feel it being their socks causing the problem, or would they like kind of feel sick or fucked up otherwise, or just magically?
They would move half of their movement speed and then just just stop suddenly. They couldn't move anymore.
Right, but would that feel like their feet tightening up, or would you feel the socks pulling them back like a tugging on your feet, or would you just be magically compelled to stop moving?
Magically compelled to stop moving.
I got you. So you're like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like, oh no, you are physically unable to even start moving. Start walking more than those.
I got you. Hell yeah.
Feel pretty good about this. Definitely worked backwards from the name.
Xeno's Parasocks, a top-down design.
Yep.
Time for me to roll.
Here. All right.
I'm on a roll.
What'd you get?
1, a societal monster.
Oh, okay. So like a bugbear?
Or an orc.
Okay. You got the Queen of Wands reversed.
Did you get that one?
I think I got this one last time, yeah.
Was it for a monster, though?
No.
What do you think? Should we re-roll or keep it?
Let's keep it. We'll get something different. The Queen of Wands reverse, which suggests selfishness, jealousy, and it's demanding. You are either surrounded by or embodying an aspect that represents all the negatives of a determined, bold character. What internal insecurities are making you act jealous, angry, or resentful?
Ugh. I hate it. Most evil monsters embody a lot of these concepts.
Yeah?
What about the Dwergar? They're
Very
resentful.
I think we did that last week.
We may have. Hell dwarves.
Hell dwarves, yeah. It's pretty good.
Hell dwarves are different because they get big. Like Admiral Snoke. Anyway, that's nothing I say makes sense, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah. You got anything?
No, can you read it again?
Yeah, it's
because it's reversed, I feel like we get a shadow of the true description of the card.
No,
right?
it's pretty good. It's like has an
that's
equivalent but opposite meaning.
Right.
It's like an inversion of the thing.
Yeah. But knowing the thing and then inverting it is helpful too.
Yeah, I can't remember what the actual thing means.
No, it's fine. I know.
Okay. So you are either surrounded by or embodying an aspect that represents all of the negatives of a determined, bold character. So typically the Queen of Wands is determined and bold, but in a positive way. Mm-hmm. This is determined and bold in a negative way.
All right. So they're called the Worry Warts. Hell yeah.
All right.
They're called the Worry Warts because they are psychic and super empathic in the sense that they take on the negative qualities and insecurities of the minds around them.
Very good.
It makes them generally shitty and awful, but in certain circumstances they can really nail it because it's not particularly their fault inherently. It's the company they keep. I don't know. I keep imagining them looking as like Kithkin from Magic the Gathering, which are based on hobbits, but they kind of have these cat-like globe eyes that are kind of golden and creepy looking. So maybe they're kind of like these small gremlin-y gnome kind of looking creatures that are just like really weird, more monstrous, but they're like they got giant eyes or something, maybe sharp teeth.
Maybe kind of bulbous heads.
Yeah,
like a wart.
Like if you like
and it's like full of negative emotions like in their brain. It's like stretching out the skull almost.
It's like a crazy hardcore the Lorax meets the Cheshire Cat plus a weird wart man.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see everything. Anyway, so a lot of times they might just be kind of like weird little goblin-like creatures that are hanging out and being silly or strange.
Maybe they're like a lot nicer if you meet like a random group of them out in the country as opposed to like ones in a city where they'd be like sucking up all the ambient anxiety and anger and
yeah, and they might be able to absorb a good talent or something too, but I don't know. I keep imagining like maybe it's good somehow. Like they make good. They'd be good in a dungeon because they're paranoid, and so they maybe reinforce it on their own or something.
Yeah, maybe they actually literally leech those negative feelings away, and so like the general mood in an area can improve. But once they leech away too many, the wart on the top of their head pops.
And then it goes everywhere. And things aren't right for days.
And then people are like they just wash over everybody, and people get angry about things that have nothing to do with them.
Which is why the Worry Warts live in the poor districts.
There we go.
Anyway, we did it.
Yeah, but
only when they die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. End of life. Worry Warts go to live with the poor people.
That's what happens.
They explode. We really did it. Anyway, send us if you have any suggestions for our new D6. We might make it a D something. That was Loot Table or Brute Fable.
We did it.
We really did.
Well, you know what time it is. Got to keep the lights on.
Oh shit. We'll keep. I guess it's time to tag out. I'll hold the switch for you for the rest of the show.
All right.
And we always say "and" before we go to break.
Do we?
No.
Oh. Spencer, how often does this happen to you? You're going to use some device or some item, perhaps a remote control, some sort of tape deck, maybe your Game Boy, your Walkman.
What about an H6 handy Zoom recorder?
Never. Well, yes, that too. And you go to use it, and then what is that? It's dead. The power.
Oh, no.
Batteries are dead.
Well, that happens to us all the time.
It happens to us so often. Literally just today.
Right.
So we got this new product I'm really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
It's called blood batteries.
What?
They're Still powered by chemical reactions, like most batteries are. However, these batteries are powered by a reaction to the copper in your blood.
What?
And they create a powerful electrical current that can be used to power anything in your home that runs on AA batteries for up to 7 or 8 minutes.
Now, how do I put my blood into the batteries?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It comes with a handy little hypodermic needle that extends from the top of the battery. If you give it a little twist here.
Whoa!
And within literally only 15 to 20 minutes, it has enough blood to run your products for almost half that.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's impressive. But such a product must be easily $700.
Well, normally you'd be right, but today you're completely incorrect. This product is only $650, and it comes with this convenient carrying case. Carry up to 360 blood batteries with you wherever you go. Now, it also comes with the ice pack because you've got to keep these babies super cold, and I'm talking about on the Kelvin scale. You got to keep it low down. Minimum numbers, single digits.
And I love how the carrying case comes with this trendy Albertsons shopping store brand logo. So it's cool and made out of a loud plastic.
Those bags are so loud. I think somebody's second lining down the street. I look out my window like I'm in New Orleans.
It's theft-proof protection. That's the blood battery guarantee. Now, I feel like I've heard about these. Aren't these, and this is for no one, but aren't these made by A Way of Time, creator of the Blood Magic plug-in mod for modded Minecraft?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I don't have enough information about the game Minecraft available to me to yes and.
I'm smiling into the microphone.
Okay. I'm sure that translates.
Use the promo code Master Manual for 1 free battery in addition to the plastic cap. And when I say free, it costs $325.
Also, if you have a good joke based on batteries being like AA and stuff, and then blood being like A positive, just go ahead and sit on that. I considered it, but I decided it was too corny.
Right. Blood batteries. My blood runs cold, but my batteries remain unsold.
Blood batteries. The last batteries you'll ever use. Guaranteed.
You'll run dry before they do.
Very good.
I don't know. I whenever we record advertisements for Harmontown, we always just do like 7 endings, and we'll just put them all in.
Oh, is that what that's about?
Sometimes, I mean, I don't know. I don't have final edit approval, but more or less.
And then it's just chopping off where it stops being good.
We just, I mean, we kind of,
or just not.
It's a really complicated cutting. Like we'll lose the 3rd and the 5th, and then put the 7th one in the 1st, so we can end with the 2nd one, which we feel is the strongest.
That's
like
good.
It's a real production.
Well, thank you for taking me behind the curtain.
And we're back.
I sure did enjoy that suite of products.
I did as well, and as always, use any batteries, and when you use batteries, make them blood batteries.
Yeah, either by purchasing them or through your own dark alchemy.
Now that could be good.
I think it's time to answer a question.
Oh yeah?
I think we're getting there.
Oh yeah, I'd say we're right there. You know what I think we're missing? This guy's fucking name. Was it Andrew Thornton?
That seems...
This next question comes from James Thornton. How do you handle games that force players to split the party? For games like D&D, I tend to slightly punish the players for splitting the group. For example, I will have them run into something that they need the whole group for, or an obstacle that only one member of the party can overcome. Eventually, they learn it's better to stick together. But for games like Shadowrun or World of Darkness, where other players have realms to access to realms or states of being that the other players don't, like there's the Matrix and the Spirit Realm in Shadowrun. In cases like this, it forces the party, whatever,
to sit and wait while one or a small group of party members does its thing, effectively splitting the group. What he's saying is that I guess he's saying like some games have mechanics where you.
Oh yeah, where you can split the party.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I would say that this isn't really splitting the party. This is like one party member has like a private thing that they do,
right?
That is happening sort of outside of time,
right? So
while
it's
they
like,
access.
It's splitting focus, kind of like, this guy's just gonna hack for a while, so we're gonna focus on hacking.
Well, dividing focus is different than splitting the party,
right? So that's a fair characterization.
Yeah, I'd say that would be my answer here is. Dividing focus, and also people say, you don't split the party, but this is closer to almost, even though it's happening in the game, this is closer to sort of how downtime activities work.
Right. In Shadowrun, there's downtime, but also in Shadowrun, they do go in different places. Like the hacker would go to a different place.
You absolutely split the party in Shadowrun.
Right. Yeah.
It's a different game.
It is.
5th edition or D&D, you don't split the party because the way that combat is approached is balanced for an assumption that the players that you have and their experience at their level are going to be able to handle a monster at X challenge rating,
right?
That you determine using the formula, and then if half the party is not there, suddenly a difficult fight becomes a lethal or deadly or impossible fight.
Yeah.
So
that you don't split the party then. I say while you're taking a drink. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'll get better at those.
No, for D&D, I don't encourage party splitting, and like this person, I sort of actively discourage it.
So check this out. I split parties like it fucking was no tomorrow.
You do that.
I do that. That happens. No, I don't know. Just again, I play with a bunch of fools. But they like splitting up all the time, and I try to get them back together sometimes. But I don't know. I guess I find that the best thing is kind of what he's saying, but the best thing is just once the party splits, to try and make reasons for them to get back together. At the very least, try and give reasons for them to be doing things simultaneously, so you're not just waiting for one person to finish their thing and return to the party, because that's just fucked up.
Yeah. So like cut between them?
Right, which is what you were kind of saying with downtime, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, what I was saying was that, like, essentially when you have downtime, players have different activities that they do.
Right.
That they're following their own like little plot threads that are happening in between, and then you sort of go to one and then the next and the next and the next.
Right.
And it's sort of understood that all these are happening semi-simultaneously. And everybody else is, if these happen, for a few minutes at a time, people are generally polite enough to just chill.
Right.
Like appreciate someone else's part of the story.
And the fewer players you have, the better that works.
It's, my 4 to 5 is ideal.
That's why.
Any more, you're breaking the seal.
Don't, and you're like Daenerys Targaryen, who seeks to break the wheel of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the wheel of fun.
Like I said, I think I tried it when I split the party. Handle it like you're saying, is that you never let anyone monopolize it. If anyone kind of is trying to do something like that, you really punish it by giving them far less time in the fractional breakdown. That's kind of how I handle it, because at this point in my life, I just think like it really is a problem, and especially for a lot of fights, it really just destroys everything.
Yeah.
And I would say just kind of maybe let it.
Yeah.
If they just die because they split the party, it's like, yeah, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, you died. And, you could bring them back to life or make them not total party kill beyond all reasonable doubt re-rolled new campaign necessarily. But, like, really, if the problem is it's fucking up combat, let it fuck up combat.
Yeah, that's true.
But truly,
they can all be reunited when they wake up in the dungeon.
Yeah, but also just like, I don't know. I think that the only real problem presented by splitting the party besides like combat ratings, and then again the obstacles that are impenetrable, but then that often spurs the party to rejoin, is the balance of time, and it makes players feel less invested. And so if you can manage that, which I think you you should be trying to do regardless of what the situation is, then you can kind of mitigate that. And also you can keep people metagame kind of involved in other people's activities, and that kind of helps a little bit, but it doesn't overcome the fundamental
and if you make
problem.
them entertaining, somewhat entertaining, then people will be entertained by a story that they are tangentially related to.
Tangentially related. Last thoughts?
I've never played or DM Shadowrun.
Yeah.
That is my last thought.
I was about to say I haven't either, but I have.
I've listened to it.
Yeah.
At length.
Didn't feel like it. Anyway, it didn't feel like you listened to it. It didn't feel like I DM'd.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Now it's time for Gamestorming.
You know it is. Gamestorming.
I want to Gamestorm Smash Brothers.
But yeah, Smash Brothers, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just throw this out here. This isn't the pitch, but it was a very evocative image from Smash Brothers. The idea you take the figure of Mario and you pour gold all over his head, and then as that happens, a shadow appears on the underside of him that's a dark clone of him.
The World of Light stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's a thing that happens in Smash Brothers. I'm going to real quick describe this.
Spoiler alert for the new Smash Brothers.
The game has its roster of like 70 characters or something.
Yeah, something.
And it has a thing called World of Light, which is a
single player campaign mode.
Yeah, you like move around like a big board in a big world, and you get into fights with what are spirits of hundreds or maybe possibly thousands of other Nintendo or third-party characters. And the way that those are represented in combat is like, it might be like, oh, here's Mario wearing with the little item. You're fighting Mario, and he's got the item that lets him fly, so that is Cape Mario. That is the representation of Cape Mario. Or you might be fighting a Bowser who is using the tan Bowser, and he's throwing little pits that make you fall into a pit, and so he's meant to be a Sand Slash. And they tell you what
spirit it is.
That was fun. That was fun because it kind of reminded me of like making up D&D characters that are meant to be like Darth Vader. It's like, oh, he would be this. It's like the closest you can get within the rule set.
Yeah, they're statting things out in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
That was definitely fun. So what do you wanna do?
Smash Brothers. I mean, I guess, like, what is Smash Brothers? What is a basic game of Smash Brothers at its core?
Well, it's your favorite characters.
Yeah, that is important. The combat is you fight on platforms that are floating in the air traditionally. Typically, there are some that are just infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And as you hit people, you increase their damage percentage. As that goes up, they fly farther when hit. The goal is to knock them so far away from the platform that they cannot recover and fall to their deaths, or off of the screen, which is also possible. So how would we represent this?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to go super 1-to-1. I don't think that's like the fun of Smash Brothers. Like the master hand being like a crazy concept seems like, more of a thing. You know what I mean?
I do like the master hand is,
or like the concept that they're toys. Maybe?
Yeah, in the early fiction was that these were just toys from a box, and master hand was like you were playing by like the game was being played by like this hand just like making these toys fight, and that's why at the end of the classic campaign in the first game you fight the hand. Mm-hmm. So it's like meta narratively the character is escaping the control.
So that feels like there's like a god or some shit who's it's like this is like a Marvel Comics trope, like Fight World or whatever the fuck, Arena something, Battle World, where the guy takes all of the superheroes and puts them into arenas to fight each other. And so it's like a god is taking all these fantasy heroes and big monsters, like maybe he has the Terrask, but just like, here's a cool dragon, let's put him against this ogre and see what happens. It's like this god who's just like, he's childish and wants to see all these fights or whatever, so he's just putting things, and it's like, and you fight on a big ice cream cake, and so it is like Smash Brothers, and you could do references to kind of whatever thing your group is kind of into to kind of hit tropes, just to make it kind of fantastical.
Yeah. Or the players could, become swapped with their D&D characters,
such
that you have to play, all of a sudden you're yourself in the D&D universe.
Right.
And I don't know, that's silly. That's also like 80 animes.
What, 80 anime? Oh,
that's the big anime trope now, or in the past few years has been like, character gets stuck in an MMO, but it's real now.
Right. That's a classic.
It is now.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
That's a new classic.
That's a classic.
I don't know. I guess I had something. I like the idea of like fighting the thing controlling you.
Right.
And I guess like, what if you put your players in the game as things that the players had to kill?
Yeah.
As the party.
I like that. They're
like that they fought a wizard who was like, "Oh, I know you're not real. You're being controlled by something else that I'm going to summon here." And then you do cruel impressions of your friends.
Right. I was having that thought halfway through your pitches.
That's true.
On some level.
Yeah.
It's like, you see that he's bald.
Yeah, it's like,
just like you.
It's like,
wait, what?
Yeah, you would want to maybe they would be transformed somehow as they came into the world, and maybe you would have flattering depictions of their whole deal. So if you had a friend who worked out, it might be, it'd be easier if you had a friend who worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
And you would use details from their life, I guess.
Yeah, positive ones, I would think, mostly.
Be like, oh, here's him, and you can tell that he looks like he has a great dog.
Yeah, he might have like a wolf familiar.
And oh man, his lawn, beautiful, beautiful.
I guess
lawn.
this is like rife with the potential to really hurt and upset your players. So maybe don't do it.
I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. You know, what's a good thing?
What a question.
Dogs.
They're
Solid dogs. Dogs
fine.
are good.
The dog on Cowboy Bebop is good.
Ein. Yeah.
He's a dated dog.
Isabel from Smash Brothers is a dog.
She is.
Isabel's pretty great. She can bury, what are those things called? A gyroid.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Gyroids are cool. What about gyroids?
Gyroids are fun.
I like fire hydrant clay golems, essentially.
Yeah, I think everybody has, or at least I always just put all my gyroids in the basement.
Yeah.
Which is very creepy.
I know. They're awesome, though.
Yeah.
So what if there's gyroids that keep popping up and they're precursors to something, and people are like, no one knows what these things are, and then they start moving, maybe, making noises.
You realize that each one that pops up is like a tenth of is a millimeter taller than the one before. And there's like several a day.
Yeah, and then one pops up as really big in like the center of town.
I like it.
And everyone dies. Anyway.
Well, that's Smash Brothers.
Do you want any more Smash Brothers thoughts?
I like it.
I like everything. I just want to circle back. I don't know. Just like if you have anything, a player, an NPC, a PC, something that your characters have an attachment to, and you made it get covered in gold, and then a dark shadow appears on the underside of them and becomes an evil doppelganger. That to me is a cool thing to include in a campaign.
Yeah, just take that.
Just that. I when I saw that, I was like, hey, this is like some D&D shit somehow.
Yeah, it's good.
It's classic video game shit in general.
It was pretty cool. I do like that they play with. I don't know what exactly the lore of that universe is now, because it feels like it's gotten to a weird place.
It seems to be the lore is like that. What's that guy's name? Game Master Chris or whatever. It's like just all of my favorite characters live together in this world that's all the world's
for
mashed
a big
up.
Party.
Yeah.
Game Master Anthony.
Game Master Anthony.
Yeah, good for him.
We got to interview him for the pod.
Yeah.
Is he that kind of game master?
Oh God, I hope so. Oh shit, I never even considered that he might just be a GM.
I never considered he wasn't.
It seemed to me more like he was just like loved games.
Yeah, well, that's probably the case.
We're referencing a famous meme.
Yeah.
Look it up on your own time.
I truly don't even know it. I just know that people talk about it, that I respect comedically.
Okay.
Anyway, that was Gamestorming, and you know what that means.
It's time for the third question.
Yeah, the third question, which is the second question submitted by the last guy, who I think was James Thornton.
Wait, we have two from the same person?
Yep, because it was easy, and we're having a low-key, low-energy, low-effort kind of day. We're not feeling great.
We are really earning that glowing write-up we got on Splitsider.
Oh, yeah.
This is that brilliant repartee they were talking about.
Well, I truly think that, if anything, our banter is not way better than normal, but this is not a substandard banter episode.
Good.
Even saying that just ruins everything. Anyway.
Yeah, let's put this all under a microscope.
How do you handle characters based around a single mechanic? Your discussion about persuasion mechanics got me thinking about this. I had a character based around the persuasion mechanic, and it got boring watching every NPC go from hostile to friendly with a single roll. To a hammer, every problem becomes a nail. The problem arises because I don't want to tell the player how to play, but they can kind of only do one thing, etc.
Well,
how do you feel?
I would say that the persuasion mechanic is, don't utilize it that way. It's not like the charm spell.
Well, I think definitely we should think about not just persuasion, because he was riffing off of when we were talking about not using persuasion. So let's maybe stealth. I don't know, but just something really niche.
I just wanted to nail real quick.
Oh, okay.
If you're the persuasion mechanic, you're not, when you persuade somebody, you're persuading them to do one thing or answer one question. It's not like this person is now amenable to all your. But that was a pedantic thing too.
No, it's true and important.
I think that if a character has one thing that they're really good at, and they are taking opportunities to utilize that mechanic, that's fine.
Right.
That's sort of the game. I mean,
that's the problem, is that most character classes can kind of do one thing, two things.
They can do a couple, especially with the different paths, like a shadow monk can be all stealthy, but they can also jump and climb walls and stuff.
I would say a shadow monk is a good example of a class that could do a few things, which is kind of the exception. It's certainly there are classes that can, certainly magic caster classes can do a fair amount of things, I would say.
I think that's fair. But a fighter.
Yeah, but a rogues can do a couple things, but rogues can kind of sneak.
They can sneak, they can pick locks, they can lie.
Investigate.
Steal and investigate.
They got skills.
I'd say give them some sort of... Okay, this is an example of
At one point, does it become a distraction to the game is kind of part of his problem too, but sorry, continue.
I'd say it's... I don't know that... Okay, this is an example of a great thing. So, that my DM, Rich Molina, did.
Damn.
So we had there are two rogues in our party.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting kind of similar. So he gave one of them a magic broomstick.
What?
Yeah. So now one of them, and he uses this broomstick to fly a lot. And also it's a magic broomstick that is kind of cowardly and won't always do what it's instructed to do. But it gets this guy to frequently he plays different because now he has a method of getting around differently, which opens up a different avenue of investigation. Mm-hmm. Sometimes all it takes is a magic item that gives somebody advantage to now you have you have advantage on climb checks. And it's climb checks? When am I ever going to do that? It's well, maybe I can try climbing. Maybe I'll use that new thing I got.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember at the point in one of the campaigns I played in that I got the alchemy jug capable of producing all manner of liquids from mayonnaise to hard liquor. I was less of a sorcerer and more of an alchemy jug wielder.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's you get a cool thing and you do that a lot. And if they're running a thing, if they're using a thing a bunch, that's really okay.
Oh yeah, it's great.
If they're not bored.
No. I think that the concept of every hammer becomes a nail is really the problem you run into, because it's oh, you got to sneak into this tavern. I guess I'll intimidate this guy. And it's he can't intimidate. And so I think that's just a manner of trying to get different things in front of your players, but at the same time, again, you don't want to invalidate what they're spending their time doing. If anything, you can maybe do multiple things. So you have to sneak and then pick a lock, or you have to sneak and then get in a fight, or you do a magical trap, or I don't know.
D&D can be kind of intimidating,
sure,
because there's a lot of things you can try to do, and if it can be intimidating to proffer stuff, to offer, to suggest, say you're going to try something. Because it might not work, because there's a lot of randomness. So if you land on something that works consistently, and allows you to contribute to the party, it's easy to keep doing that.
Right. Because it's an incentivized behavior.
Yep.
So incentivize different behaviors?
Yeah, I would say reward others more than making the things they're trying to do not work. Although,
right.
Or if they do, kind of like hit everybody with it at once.
No, I think that's good. I think it's just you're trying to incentivize further behaviors rather than disincentivize this behavior. I think that's a strong angle to take.
Yeah, people can generally tell when they're being prevented
Punished.
from doing something.
Yeah, and you don't want to... Because as a game designer, which on some level you're kind of doing, your game players will do the actions they're incentivized to do, even if they're not fun, even if they're bad, and then they'll blame you for it. So if you let them do something and punish them for it, then they'll be like, well, this is what the game is telling me to do, and now you're punishing me for it. Like, I had this whole character that was built on the concept of stealth. And now, so I'm going to do stealth, and now I'm just going to feel bad every time I do stealth. I'm not going to think about some other option because this is what the game options available to me are telling me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, another brain connection. I hope that answers your question. James Thornton.
Both had some good questions this week. All right.
Yeah.
It's time for Amlinals, I guess.
Oh, boy. You got one? He's got this book, Fairy Fire. You want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, it's this really neat 5th edition supplemental. Kate gave it to me. She's got a character sheet in here that's really cool. It's got all these different like cool fairy monsters and art. A lot of people contributed to it. The link. It's already come out. I don't know if they're going to be selling it, but it was really good. I think they're going to be. Maybe they are. If they are, we will link it.
Right.
In the thing, and if we're not, then I'll just link the Kickstarter so you can just look at it.
Oh, yeah.
And wish that you had one.
Is there any inspiration for an animal that we could try and steal?
Let's see.
Obviously, a lot of their monsters may well be animals of the sort.
Yeah, I think a lot of these are like things that they're really cool though. The Rystrad, Party Ghost, Witchlight. Yeah, these are all very much things that are.
Yeah,
cool
but we could take it. We could convert it back into the monster and then take it.
That's what I'm definitely doing. Okay.
Hit me with it.
What's a good D&D monster?
Zombies? Have we done zombies?
I think we haven't, just because.
No, we did Lich. I don't think we did zombies.
Yeah, we haven't done zombies.
Anyway, zombies.
This is a challenge to make this interesting.
Zombies, mindless, slow moving, generally stupid.
Consuming. Usually they have a hunger.
Right.
To eat, usually.
In D&D, they're magic, and they can kind of sense souls, sense life force and positive energy a lot of times. Not always.
Yeah. So zombies, I would say let's stay away from anything too trite, because it's very easy to do like a corny metaphor using a zombie.
What about zombies, but they're all Republicans?
What about zombies that they have like little devices that they hold that make colors and stuff that distracts them?
Yeah, that could be good. They're holding these magical tablets.
Yeah, stone tablets.
We can call them iStones.
Well, you know what? I started off hating this, but let's do it.
Keep moving.
Let's do it.
These zombies are carrying iStones. They're always looking for cards, gift cards, so they can download their apps. And who even knows what those are?
Yeah, it's apps, but it's spelled with another P, and the other last P is for polymorph.
Oh shit! What are they polymorph?
They're astral. They're astral projection.
Astral projection polymorphs.
Apps. Yes. And
System.
then and they get these from a giant tree, and guess what kind of tree it is? Guess what kind of fruit it produces?
I'm trying.
It's
bananas.
No, you're close.
Nope. Give it to me.
Apple.
There we go.
You get it?
Yeah. So how does that work? So there's a big apple tree.
Yeah. These, the apples all have one bite out of them already, and these tablets are just littered around, and then people have to like come back and get. I keep hating this, and now I'm like leaning more into just this is the
We can make it good if we make it good. That's the beauty of it.
That's the challenge. Okay.
I do like the idea of zombies with some sort of weird fixation that just has nothing to do. Like, so that you're like, oh, here's zombies, but this is fucked up and I'm confused and it's distracting me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it is funny to if they have apps.
Yeah.
No.
It's I like leaning into turning D&D into a very bad political cartoon.
Yeah.
That you would see like mocked on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And just like making your players deal with that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I can't. My irony well has run dry. Unfortunately, that's the problem I'm running into now. I'm trying to think of like sarcastic things to say, and I'm just out.
Okay, what about?
But that's fine.
What about zombies who are otherwise? God, it's just so hard to do anything new with zombies.
What if they are looking at stones?
Yeah,
and they're not iStones. But they're zombies that are always staring at a rock, and then they move, and they attack people sometimes. They're less dangerous than normal zombies, but they attack people. But if you like interrupt them from staring at their rock, then they'll like go batshit berserk fast zombie.
Yeah,
and they'll like really smash your face in,
and if they kill you, then you are raised. You like become a zombie, and you just start staring at the rock too.
Yeah.
I'm picturing actually now just a big rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know.
Do they carry it then?
No, it's like a stone, like it's like sunk into the ground, like huge, like maybe a couple of stories tall.
Then they would be entirely stationary.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So you come upon them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you interrupt them, then they kill you and you get added to this.
So that's even a magic rock that makes people into zombies.
Yeah.
That's even better.
I like this. Yeah, this is pretty good.
It's like an alien rock meteor or some shit.
Yeah, and maybe you could like investigate it, but it's like if you do, you risk pissing off, you know, dozens of zombies.
And it does give you apps if you become an app zombie.
Yeah,
you get iTunes and Facebook.
Those come preloaded, and you cannot delete them.
All of the zombies' faces are in a book.
I actually
inside the
we
rock.
Came around to something that I really like, which is this like mysterious thing that seems to demand to be investigated, but presents a huge problem if you try to.
Oh yeah,
and if there's nothing lost, but like you're not, like maybe there's not even an answer that can be found by the players.
Yeah,
it's just just danger.
Mm-hmm. The iStone SX Max. Anyway,
I like mysteries. People tend to get frustrated with this, especially in like games, in video games for sure. But mysteries that don't have an answer, in universe, an answer that is given to you through the medium through which you access the story.
Just a hook.
Yeah, just a question that is not resolved. I think that anything that sort of actively resists the audience's desire to solve it is good.
Right.
I like that. I like stories that don't suggest that everything can be solved. I don't know.
Yeah, I can dig that, and I even do. But that was Amlimals. You can use iStones in your campaign or whatever. I think it's good. I think just it's a concept of brainstorming and trying to get the creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
That you do bad pitches because they're bad pitches.
As a joke. And
right.
then you accidentally come up with something good.
Well, it's not even about accidentally coming up. It's just about starting. Like, because that's truly how your brain works. Like, it kind of takes a while to be able to start generating ideas, and then it's kind of in that mode. But you don't want, like, your momentum and your natural laziness and preservation instincts and stuff, they don't want to do that. They just want to kind of relax and find food and stuff. So it's like, you just do, like, okay, I've had that so many times, and then I'm like, well, what if I just do the worst things, and I'll just be like doorknob, hamburger, car, and then traffic light, and then finally I'll go like Mortimer or something.
Yeah, then you start with something bad, and you remove what's bad about it, improving things incrementally until you've produced something good.
Not that we did that.
No, well, actually,
very
I think
congratulatory, and I know you're comfortable with that, but I'm not.
I like the big rock in the middle of nowhere that has
that's awesome.
weird concentric circles of zombies standing around it.
Mm-hmm.
and that it's fine as long as you don't interfere with them or get in there. Like, I would say that, like, you try to investigate and it's like, oh, then maybe you interrupt the sight line of like 3 of them.
Right.
And they attack.
Yeah.
And
maybe some are coming in too. So those are the ones that kind of get interrupted, or the ones that aren't quite in the circle. That way, if you don't quite investigate, you're still having an interaction with something.
Yeah.
Anyway, we already ended, but no, it was great. I'm sorry to cut you down. It was a good thing that we got.
But we got there by starting with something bad and getting to something good.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a segment that does the very same thing. It starts with something bad and it makes it into something good. The something bad, the fails. The something good, the males. Fail mails.
Let's do it.
All right. What should there be a theme song for fail mail?
Dump, 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 you fucked up. There it is.
And then, yeah, perfect. And then I'll put Homer in at the end.
Oh.
Yep, exactly.
Are you going to put it in?
Yeah, but not that. I'm going to actually put the real Homer. And that's assuming I put in the effort, which I'm never promising. It just depends on when I actually edit.
Dump, 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 you fucked up.
Okay. Lolar Wolf says, so on my first dragon encounter... Oh, yeah, like it was actually a dragon encounter, like his party fought a dragon. I miscalculated and all but one in the party dropped to 0 HP. To fix that, I had the dragon intimidate the survivors so they could flee, but this guy tried to make a deal with it. To fix that, I had the dragon ask him for the heads of his enemies before leaving, but this guy misunderstood that and thought he meant the dragon's heads, I think, and he started chopping off the heads of his unconscious friends. To fix that, I had a druid friend of the party rush in and heal the place, but the guy charmed him, stabbed him in the back, and cut his head off. He killed the everyone. Great. He killed the everyone and tried to carry on by himself, and so to fix that, I had giant spiders eat his face, but the damage had already been done, I guess.
Oh, you should have started the players in hell.
Fail mail.
And they have to fight out of hell.
Yeah, so
also this guy is a lunatic.
The big issue is dragon communication problems are all too common and can end in death. So you got to be careful when dragons are talking to people, I guess. Maybe. Yeah.
Dragons can only speak the truth, but they also lie.
Bring the heads of my enemies or the heads of your enemies. That was I get that you're probably going for something like lofty and dragony, but that ended up being unclear. We don't really need to critique you. You did great. But,
you screwed up. You know what you did wrong.
But yeah, if we're trying to do that as a segment, then that's what my thing is. Anyway, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable critiquing you. That was fail mail. Send us your fails.
All right, and follow us on Master Manual at Master Manual Pod. It's Twitter and
at gmail.com.
Also, email us that way.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, what else? Reddit? Discord?
Yeah, we got a Reddit. We got a Discord. We'll post the link to the Discord in the iTunes thing.
Oh, yeah. Facebook, it's all the same name, more or less.
We had somebody ask us if he could be on the Discord. Everybody can be on the Discord. Just click, join it.
Yeah, just do it. # Nike.
It's also not like joining an IRC channel. If you don't know what Discord is and the concept is intimidating, it's a lot easier than it sounds.
Yeah,
it's just like an AOL chat room.
Yeah, it's like a web app. It's like one of these apps.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, at the Sixler,
at Skull Mandible,
at Master Manual Pod, which we already said.
Until next time.
At Mastery is Manual.
Looks like we booked it again.
# looks like we booked it again.
Don't know.
But.